Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers and fighters, let me begin with a question that might shake you to your core. When was the last time you truly believed in yourself? Not the kind of shallow belief where you whisper to yourself, maybe I can do it. I am talking about the unshakable, fire in your soul conviction that no matter what stands against you, no matter how many people doubt you, no matter how many times you fail, you will rise, you will fight, and you will win. Because here's the truth that too many people forget. Belief is the foundation of every victory in human history. Belief built cities, belief discovered new lands, belief cured diseases, belief put footprints on the surface of the moon, and belief is the only thing that will allow you to put your footprints on the life you dream of living. You see, you cannot buy belief, you cannot borrow it, you cannot steal it. You have to grow it inside yourself like a flame, protecting it, feeding it, nurturing it until it burns bright enough to light your entire path forward. But here's the challenge. Life will do everything in its power to snuff that flame out. Life will throw storms of doubt at you. People will mock you, criticize you, whisper behind your back that you will never make it. You will trip, stumble, and crash into walls so high that you will wonder if you should even bother climbing. And in those moments, your mind will try to betray you. That inner voice will whisper lies. You are not good enough. You are not strong enough. You are not smart enough. You are not worthy. But listen to me right now. That voice is lying to you. That voice is not truth. That voice is fear dressed up as reason. And fear has no authority over your destiny unless you give it permission. And so today I am here to tell you, believe in yourself. Believe when no one else does. Believe when the evidence is against you. Believe when you have every reason to quit. Believe because belief is the birthplace of greatness. The power of belief. I don't think about it. Every legend, every champion, every innovator you have ever admired started with nothing more than belief. When Thomas Edison was laughed at for his endless failures, he believed in himself enough to keep going until the world had light. When the Wright brothers were told man would never fly, they believed in themselves enough to build the first airplane. When Martin Luther King Jr. stood in front of a divided nation, he believed in himself enough to declare a dream that changed history. When astronauts took that giant leap for mankind, they did it because somewhere deep inside, they believed it was possible. And when an unknown boxer from Louisville, Kentucky, stood before the world and declared, I am the greatest, he was not just boasting, he was speaking belief exists. That young man became Muhammad Ali, and his self-belief carried him to the top of the boxing world. Now let me ask you, why not you? Why not your dream? Why not your vision? Why not your life transformed by your own belief? The world will try to convince you that your dream is too big, too unrealistic, too impossible. But let me remind you of something powerful. Every impossible thing that has ever been accomplished started as someone else's laughter. The question is not whether you are capable. The question is whether you will dare to believe you are capable. Your mind is the battlefield. Understand this, your success, your growth, your future. It all begins and ends in your mind. The greatest battles you will ever fight are not against the economy, not against your competition, not against your circumstances. The greatest battles are against your own doubts, your own fears, your own excuses. You can have talent, you can have resources, you can even have opportunities fall into your lap. But if you do not believe in yourself, you will sabotage every single one of them. On the flip side, you can have nothing, no money, no connections, no advantages. But if you believe in yourself with an unshakable conviction, you can create something out of nothing. That is the miracle of belief. Because belief is not just positive thinking. Belief is not sitting back hoping life gets better. Belief is the fuel that drives action, persistence, and resilience. Belief makes you get up one more time when you have fallen 1,000 times. Belief makes you train in the dark when no one is watching. Belief makes you say, I will not stop until I win. Stories of unshakable belief. There was once a boy born into poverty, abandoned by his father, beaten down by circumstances, told he would never amount to anything. That boy grew up feeling invisible, unwanted, like life had no place for him. But he discovered one thing: he believed he had a gift. He believed he had a story to tell. And through years of rejection, sleeping in his car and barely surviving, he refused to let go of that belief. That boy's name is Tyler Perry. Today, he is one of the most successful storytellers, filmmakers, and entrepreneurs in America. His belief carried him through the fire until the world had no choice but to recognize his light. Another story, there was a young woman who wanted to be a writer, but she was broke, living on welfare, struggling to feed her child, rejected by publisher after publisher. She could have given up. She could have let the world convince her that her dream was foolish. But she held on to belief. She kept writing, kept pushing, kept imagining a world that no one else could see. That woman's name is J.K. Rowling. Her belief gave birth to the Harry Potter series, one of the most successful book franchises of all time. And then there was a man fired from a newspaper because they said he lacked imagination. He could have let that define him. He could have let that failure kill his spirit. Instead, he believed in himself, and he built a kingdom of magic that would inspire millions for generations. That man's name is Walt Disney. Or consider Oprah Winfrey. She was born into poverty, endured abuse, rejection, and prejudice. She was told she did not have the look for television, but she believed she could connect with people, inspire them, lift them up, and that belief carried her to become one of the most influential women in history. So let me ask you again, why not you? Why not your dream? Why not your story? Building belief. Now you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how do I build belief when I have been beaten down by failure, rejection, and self-doubt? Here is the answer. Belief is a muscle, and like every muscle, it grows stronger with use. Start small. Keep promises to yourself. If you tell yourself you will wake up early, do it. If you tell yourself you will exercise today, do it. If you tell yourself you will spend 10 minutes learning something new, do it. Every time you follow through, you build trust with yourself, and trust creates belief. Second, feed your mind. Stop consuming negativity, doubt, and fear. Fill your mind with stories of resilience, with words of encouragement, with voices that remind you of your strength. Read books, listen to speeches, surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Third, visualize your future. See it in your mind so clearly that it feels more real than your present. The brain cannot distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. When you consistently picture yourself winning, succeeding, and thriving, your belief will grow because your brain begins to accept it as truth. Finally, take action, even when you are afraid, even when you feel unready, even when the path is uncertain. Action builds confidence, and confidence builds belief, the enemy of belief. But beware, the enemy of belief is comparison. Too many people sabotage themselves by looking at someone else's journey and deciding they are not enough. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your path is your own. Your timing is your own. Your story is your own. The moment you let comparison dictate your worth, you hand over your belief to someone else. And once it is gone, it is hard to get it back. So protect it, guard it, fight for it. The life you deserve. You were not born to live a life of mediocrity. You were not born to drift through existence without purpose, without meaning, without fire in your soul. You were born to create. You were born to impact. You were born to love, to fight, to rise, to leave behind a legacy that says, I was here and my life mattered, but you cannot step into that destiny without belief. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for perfect timing. Do not wait for everything to make sense. Believe first. Step forward in faith. Move even when the ground feels shaky. Because sometimes belief means taking a leap without knowing if the net will appear. Okay? So let me leave you with this. Believe in yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Believe when the night is long and the morning feels far away. Believe when the critics are loud and the support is silent. Believe when your hands shake, your knees tremble, and your heart races. Believe because the future belongs to those who refuse to stop believing. Now it is your turn. Stand up. Lift your head. Speak your dream out loud. Declare it to the universe. And then go fight for it with every ounce of belief you have. Because one day when the world looks at you in awe and says, how did you do it? You will be able to smile and say, I believed in myself when no one else did. And before you go, if this message spoke to your heart, if it lit a fire in your spirit, do not let it end here. Like this video, leave a comment sharing your dream, subscribe to this channel for more fuel for your soul, and share this video with someone who needs to be reminded to believe in themselves. Together, let us create a movement of unstoppable believers